Uh, haven't done this in a while, and the reason for that is, I've been in a shithole. My productivity level has dipped a lot. Time management as well. At the same time, I think that I think a bit more than I could chew. My whole life in general. And what I mean by that is I'm involved in a lot of projects, but then there's obviously priority to certain things, outside of those projects. There's certain things that I have to prioritize. And Study Center has been at the bottom of that priority list. I try to get to it as much as possible, but I haven't been able to stick to a well defined schedule to say, okay, at this time, I know that I'm doing this, at this time, I know that I'm doing that. As a result of this, much hasn't been done lately. Most of the platform is done. If we're talking in terms of a minimum viable product, well, that's subjective. But in terms of a proof of concept, that is done, right? The next step is just to then, I think, marketing and advertising, get people using the platform and actually see if it's solving a problem. But I've been at the stage from the beginning of March. We're almost approaching end of April, and I haven't done any of that. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too comfortable in the development phase, but I need to just get out of that comfort zone and start talking to people. Another thing is time, right? I think the way to talk to people, well, study center uses university students at the moment, but I don't have the time in the week to be able to go to campus and like start talking to students, right? So just gotta find a way to get around that. Anyway, um, there's nothing much I want to say really. I just wanted to do this video because I haven't done it in a while. It's been on my mind, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. On a lighter note, I've improved the search functionality on the platform. It's actually quite easy now to find any module. Oh, one thing that I actually want to do is a sort of behind the numbers or about the numbers. You know how website will usually have about us, about the product, whatever the case might be. I want Study Center to have something like that, but instead of an about us, I feel like it's not really important to be talking about the people, blah blah blah. Personally, I think that's just redundant, particularly at the stage that we are at. So instead of talking about us meaning Jorge Luzinke and myself, I think that I just want to focus on what the platform entails. Right. So if you know that right now on the website we just have release notes. I haven't updated those release notes in a while. And the reason for that is because last year I had, I think there were like three users. It was Nebo, Shia, and I don't remember the third one. I don't remember the third one. But usually, when I release notes, you know how when you read a book, there's a preface or what, where like the book would say, "Let me find one. I'll explain it to you. Just 2 seconds." So this is Zero to Y, the book that it's the top book I could find. And usually, it's not the preface, man. No, not the preface. 2 seconds. Right. Let's see. There's a book about. Where's that Elon Musk? Oh, there. Yeah. So, if you look at the Elon Musk book, I don't know what this is called, like, but usually after the title page and then the copyright publisher details, there's usually a blank page that, for instance, this Elon Musk by Ashley Vance, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It just says, for mom and dad, thanks for everything. So I took this pattern. I really like this type of writing. And I was like, what if each and every release note, if we can, we dedicate it to someone? This might be, I remember there was a case whereby Nebo had requested a certain feature. He was working on, I think he was still busy with Informatics 370, his final year project, and he kept asking questions on the platform. 80 days, 80 days, right? This was like last year, 2022. And his question, the way that he was asking the questions, it had a lot of, it required a lot of editing. But at the time, question editing was not yet added, right? So what then I had to do, I remember I worked overnight to add um, the functionality or the ability to edit a question. Then, as soon as I was done with that, I wish I could, let me see if I can. When I started this video, I didn't enable it to be able to share screen. It's fine. Anyway, my point is, on the release notes, it will say to Nebo, blah, 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 blah. Just like a book would say, when you read a good book. Not a good book, but when you read books, there's like that blank page. It's like, to Mang Mang, this is for you. So with those release notes, it's just the idea behind that small paragraph. And we have that. And the reason I haven't updated it lately is because even though I was adding new features, there's quite a lot of features that I've added in the past couple of months. Even though I haven't been updating that page, the reason for not updating it is because there was really no one to dedicate a feature or a release, a deployment to, right? However, I'm going to start doing it again. I think right now I'm just striving to get to a point where I can be consistent in everything. Everything. You know, there's just that level of consistency. I think is what I'm actually looking for at this stage. The about the numbers page. It's something that I was thinking about, but then while I was surfing the internet, I found that YouTube actually does that. So YouTube doesn't have a typical about us page, but what they do for Warner, they do it for financial reporting reasons, annual financial statements returns. And then they'll say we had this number of videos uploaded, this much contributed to the GDP or to the economy in form of, I don't know, monetization or something like that. But essentially, it gives you an understanding of actually what's behind the numbers. And I want to do that for Study Center. Not that I want to do that, I'm actually going to start. Maybe today. I think today, what I can do is, so a little bit of technical stuff. Not most, the app, the web app, as well as the control platform, this is the one that it's used for administrative stuff. They are built using Angular, right? However, I am currently in the process of learning React. So, React, there's like React 16, React 18. I was learning React 16, but that's like an outdated version. So right now I'm in the process of taking a new course and learning React 18. So what I'm thinking of doing, because I find it better to learn by doing, the whole model of diving into an engine first, then figuring that you need a wrench and you need a screwdriver instead of just saying this is a screwdriver, this is a wrench. So I want to start learning React by doing as early as possible. And this about us, not about us. about the numbers page. I'm thinking of doing it in React. Yeah, actually gonna do it in React. That way, I will then have an opportunity to learn React. This is getting too long, 10 minutes. Anyway, it's on. Um, Hopefully, there's a little bit of consistency on these videos and everything.